The next morning came, and Vai'cairn awoke quickly. He was eager to get home, so he spent very little time preparing a basic meal, setting off along the coastline, steadily moving southward. The ground near his shelter looked undisturbed, as did the shoreline as he traveled, signs that a nighttime journey would have proven safe. Vai'cairn disliked being overcautious, but after facing such grave dangers alone, he felt his boldness had been tempered. All the signs of the storm clouds were gone, and a clear sky stretched overhead, bearing an ever-climbing sun which shone down warm golden rays. Winter in the archipelago of Carver's Clutch was not like winter in the western and northern kingdoms. Though the weather was somewhat cooler, and the rains increased in frequency, the warm temperatures pervaded all year round. As Vai'cairn walked along the beaches, mile after mile, he thought about all that had transpired these last several days. He felt he had grown much in a short amount of time. He had nearly met his doom, more than once, but he had pulled through with tenacity, battle cunning, and luck. He had met his challenges bravely, and succeeded in the end. He reflected on these such things, and more, as he traveled throughout the morning, afternoon, and into the dimming evening. And as the long, long beach began gradually winding westward, he spotted his village in the distance. His legs seemed to find new motivation, despite the tiredness. He took in a great, joyful breath and quickened his pace. Eventually he passed by 2 Arkai men fishing off the coast with long bamboo poles. They tilted their heads back as he passed, a basic common greeting. Not long after, he found himself within the village. It was a large collection of huts made from brush and lashed bamboo poles, all raised off the ground, some even out into the shallow waters. A number of the men and women greeted him as he passed. Some were excited to see him, others looked kind of surprised or relieved. His good friend Tanathus Chingu spotted him and came striding over, grinning with a strong, set jaw. "Vai'cairn," said Tanathus, as he slapped Vai'cairn heartily on his upper arm. "I'm glad to see you back. So the sharks didn't get you after all?" "Not hardly, Tanathus," replied Vai'cairn, "though I have many a story to tell." "By the looks of you, I believe it already." Tanathus looked at the scarred and disheveled Vai'cairn. "I am very tired. I'm going to my bed for now, but wake me for the fire meet later." "I will, my friend. I will see you then." The fire meet was a nightly gathering amongst the Vai'cairn, and many other Arkai tribes did this as well. After the sun had set, the tribal folk would gather around 1 to several fires, eating, dancing, boasting, sharing stories and wisdom, and in the case of those such as Vai'cairn, proving the self, making real to others what the individual had experienced, attesting one's strength, self-reliance, bravery, and skill. If none could successfully or justifiably challenge the proving, then it would be. The individual gained greater status and autonomy. The Arkai believed that only through individual power and freedom could the tribe as a whole strengthen. The fire meet was overseen by a group of individuals known as the Mashang. They were the wisest of the shamans and elders, and the most able of the warriors and hunters, who gave guidance in any important matter that concerned the tribe. And Vai'cairn did as he said. He went first to his hut, stripped off his hide armor, and laid himself down upon a bed made of mats woven from select young leaves. He rested, sleeping quite soundly, dreaming the dreams that he could only have while sleeping in this spot. After a few hours, he awoke to the sound of Tanathus calling his name. He also heard the sound of many voices speaking and smelled the tantalizing aroma of smoked fish. He got up and made his way with his friend to the shoreside, where the fire meet had just begun. 3 fires blazed strong, and many were gathered. Vai'cairn helped himself to a large helping of smoked meat and coconut drink. He watched a large group of adolescents dance around a fire to the sound of rhythm chants and woodblock drums. Many people came to greet him. Most seemed happy that he had returned, though few so grateful as his own family, and none so scolding as Vineth, the shaman who had given him guidance and saw him off the day he had left on his trek. "How long have you been back for?" she said. "Not long, Vineth." "Why did you not come directly to me after returning?" "I was tired. I've gone through a lot these past days. I am prepared to tell you and anyone." "You had gone for longer than necessary. You got yourself lost, didn't you? Why didn't you just come back the way you came from?" "Enough with your questions. Let me enjoy my meal. I will explain everything in a little bit." "Fine. I will speak with the other Mashang and let them know that you'll be proving this night. By the way, you look like shit." Vineth turned and began walking away from Vai'cairn. He grumbled under his breath and called out, "Well, maybe that will help my cause." For the next couple hours, Vai'cairn ate his fill and spoke heartily with his sister, his mother, and his father, as well as Tanathis. A number of the tribe's warriors stopped past him, either to give a head-tilt greeting or share a few words. Then his proving began. The chanters and drummers made a steady, rising sound, a trill which signified to everyone that a proving was about to begin. Most of the crowd congregated around the largest fire where the Mashang had gathered, either to hear and see Vai'cairn, and also eager to either tribute him or challenge him.